Okay, it is October, what's today, the 6th, and it's Thursday, so that means it's time to stamp for sure and have a stamp class. And I'm just waiting for a few people to pop on before we officially begin today's Paper Pumpkin Upstyle class. What you been doing lately? Okay, we've got somebody on, which, you know, I start with if we have even just one on. And so we are going to begin today. Let me know who's on. It's not showing me who is watching just yet, so I'm waiting for comments to show up. But welcome, and thank you for coming here to Seeing Ink Spots. This is my Facebook page where I like to show things all about Stampin', specifically using Stampin' Up! Products. Hello, Nicole. So you're one of my 2 that's on. Awesome. Hopefully a few more will pop on throughout today's live class. And Kat is on. Awesome, Kat. Glad you are here. Okay, so Nicole says she loves my glasses. I have all kinds of readers. I bought during COVID when we were locked down. I kept buying like on sale glasses from readers.com. So I have bunches of magnifiers. Maggie says, watching from your old neighborhood. That's right. Awesome to have you here, Maggie. How is the old neighborhood looking? I bet it's awesome. Good morning to you too, Kat. And so let's officially begin. Thank you for those comments. Keep them coming. Let's officially begin with good Thursday morning. It is Thursday. Obviously, I just said that. The moment has arrived to stamp. We're going to get our fingers sticky with glue and we'll get them stained with ink like we always do. Today is all about upstyling your paper pumpkins, specifically the Spooky Treats box from September. And this was a cute little box. I really like it just the way it is. So I'll show you. I just kind of did a tweak on that. You're going to see that and a few other things today using the stamps. So I say let's flip the camera and have a good time with a little bit of business first and then lots of good stamping. Lori Healy is here. Awesome. Glad you're here, Lori. Okay, so here comes the hand. Yep. And we'll do the switcheroo here. Okay. Give a little tip this way. All right. Just coming up next week on the 13th, we have our monthly Use It Up class. And so this month, we are going to use up part of the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. And I'm going to mix that with the Merriest Moments bundle. It's in the holiday catalog, the July-December catalog. We used it last year. I had a stamp camp all around the Merriest Moments, so I figured a bunch of you would have that set, that bundle. So I'm going to use that, but don't worry, just bring any stamp that you have that's Christmassy, stamps and dies, and you'll be set to go. And we will do that next week. Hello, Tandra. It's awesome to see you here. Okay, the week after that is my pickup class. This pickup class, you bring your own supplies. And so what I'll do is I'm going to use the Amazing Silhouettes stamp set with the Amazing Thanks dies. They were bundled together in the last catalog, the last mini catalog. And I never really got to using them, so we're going to use them next week or 2 weeks from now. And if you don't have that, just grab a bundle that you like and some DSP and the matching cardstocks and inks, and we'll just create, okay? So just kind of copy the layouts, maybe the color palettes, just, we'll create together. So, and then the last week of the month is my Fond of Autumn Technique Time class. This is the Big Daddy class of the month. This is where we take a deep dive and fully explore the bundle. And I provide you the kit. You can buy it or you can earn it for free. But this is where we make several artfully avid styled cards. And so it's going to be a great class. Don't miss out on ordering your kit. You have until the 20th to order that, I believe. No, maybe it's the 16th this month. Anyhow, I can't remember. It's in the email. Send me a comment and I will shoot you the email if you did not receive it last, I think it was on Tuesday. Okay. Next month, we will upstyle our paper pumpkin kit. And this kit is all about Christmas cards. So, and I hear that it's classic colors with a few fun added things, color-wise. So be there. It's going to be a good time. All right. So that's all the business I'm going to do. I have other classes that are coming up. But I will post those both on Seeing Ink Spots and in the Backstage Pass. Now, if you're not a Backstage Pass holder, leave me a comment and I can tell you how you can become a holder and a part of that group. Okay, let's stamp. Get rid of the business. All right, this is the add-on kit for this month that I put together. You can earn this if you are, there's 3 things you have to do. You have to be a subscriber with me, and you have to sign up for Technique Time. It's actually just 2 things. If you sign up for Technique Time, then I will slip this in your order there. But that's the only way you can get this kit. All right, so on with the show. Let's begin. So I'm going to open this kit, and there's not a lot in here. It's just a few added pieces here and there. And in the spirit of using up all of my designer series papers and ribbons and things, we have a little bit of a mix of papers in this kit, in that these 2 here are from the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. But knowing that this kit had fresh freesia in it and crushed curry, I just kind of went through and found the leftover pieces that I had. So I've now used up almost all of my Tea Boutique paper. There's a little left still, but it's fun. So I'm using that because it fits the color palette, and it's generic enough that I can make that fit into a Halloween theme. And then from the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper, that is where I pulled these 2 pieces. Okay, I'm like, hey, we got to use them up. They're perfect for this month. So we'll be making a couple things with those. And in that packet, I also have 3 card bases in here. I have a fresh freesia, okay, and that's going to fold this way. If you don't have, you're going to want that. And then I have 2 pieces. This is crushed curry and this is pumpkin pie, and these are both 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, so that's what I have added in here. And as always, a couple sheets of basic white. So that's what I've added in. And then I'm also adding to today's kit, I'm not adding any stamps, but I am adding, this is the Starry Sky Metallic Woven Ribbon. I didn't have the Orchid Oasis, but I felt this still worked because Orchid and Oasis and Starry Sky are kind of sister colors. And I'm also using this fun ribbon from the July-December catalog. This is the Iridescent Trim. Love this stuff. So we're going to be using that. And I am using just a few basic rhinestones. So I'm adding those things in. And let's begin with our first project. I did a little bit of casing of my own class, my Technique Time class from last month. So let us begin with our first card that we're going to do here. This is a card, but you could easily do this card and place everything so that, just rotate it 180 degrees, seal up the sides and make it be a little pocket. That way you could put some treats inside if you wanted to make this be a treat holder, or if you want to make it be a card. Speaking of treat holder, I am going to do that with one of our other projects here, but I just think this is a fun little spunky card. I don't really send out Halloween cards, but well, we'll see who it might go to. All right, so to start, let's start with our crushed curry, 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, and so it's just scored in half. Very, very basic there. okay? And so you might recognize the layout a little bit if you did attend last month's Technique Time class. So that's why I said I was casing myself. All right, so grab one of your pieces of the basic white, and this is actually a quarter sheet, but you can see here in my card, I'm gonna trim it down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. Okay, so real easy here. Okay, these ghosts are cute, Nicole. It's a cute little stamp. I'm glad it was in the set of stamps because they gave us some die cut little ghosts, but it's nice to have another one. Okay, so that we can have it forever. Okay, all right, so there's my card base. Now I am going to pull out, and I think I forgot to put this in the supplies, but this is the Timber in 3D embossing folder. Good morning, Denise. Good to see you here. And I also saw Kayleen popped on. Good to have my friend on board here this morning. You're all friends, but Kayleen and I, we chat all the time. The text messages are flying. Okay, so this folder here, and I'm gonna do just like I did on the card that we did in Technique Time, and that is I am going to pre-ink the logo side of the embossing folder, and I'm gonna use crushed curry ink. Okay. Okay, so I mentioned that we're casing the layout and some of the techniques from one of the cards we did for September's Technique Time. And that was a fabulous class. It was the Texture Chic Suite. And I just kind of kept going. It was a very long class. We did a lot, but it was such a great, suite that we had to do it right. So we did something for each season. Okay, so I have just kind of stamped off kind of the embossing folder version of stamping off by putting in a piece of just computer paper and rubbing that to remove most of that ink. And now I'm going to place my piece of paper down and we'll run that through the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Always remember, this is the folded side, okay, of the embossing folder. Put that through first. And my sandwich, I know we go over this a lot, but for a 3D folder, it's going to be plate number 1, then the folder with the folded edge in first, and then the number 4 plate. This is equivalent to the multi-purpose platform with all tabs open for the Big Shot and the blue plate. It's a little bit thicker. All right, just running this through. Okay, and then look how nice this is going to turn out. Here's let's turn it right side up. Look how good that looks. Oops, I missed. Must have shifted, but that's okay. We'll call it art. It's a fine little hand touch there, handmade. Or I could just trim my card just a little bit more. In fact, I think that's what we'll do. We can always fix it right. So I'm gonna make this one just be just a little bit different. So I'm gonna trim just a little bit more off. So I'm gonna take off another 1/8 of an inch that direction. Look, we fixed the mistake, but now I need to do an 1/8 of an inch this way as well. All right. We can always fix the little mistakes. Okay, so now this is going to glue here, right in the center. I mean, no, brain surgery here. It's just gonna go smack in the middle of the card. I call that a kind of a classic layout when you're just, adding it right to the middle. So Kat says, great class. She must have been talking about the Texture Chic. Well, I'm glad you liked it. I really, really, really liked that class. I had a good time creating it. All right. So there's my first layer there. I love this look. It's got texture and a little bit of color. So in here you can kind of see the difference between the white just being plain and then with a little bit. And let me bring that up just so you can see. It's not in your face yellow, It's a little bit gentler Okay, so my other pieces for this card, we're going to use that pumpkin piece from the add-on kit, or if you have that DSP, grab that, or you might not have this designer series paper, but you might have another Halloween style paper. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is trim this down, and I want this to be 3 inches wide, and I want it to go to 5.5. So I'm going to take that little 1/2 inch off. Okay, save those. You never know when I'm going to use them. And this is also from that class. This is the same. I told you it was the same layout. So I'm going to put my piece here that's 3.5 inches. I'm going to now put it on the 1/2 inch mark, and I'm going to make my own custom flag here. And I'm just going to snip up to the 5 inch mark using my trimmer blade here. Okay. Hi, Patricia. Happy to have you here joining us. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to take a pair of long-handled scissors, and I like the longer blade for this technique because if I were to use the short blade here, you can see I would have to do it in a couple motions, and I don't want to have to open and shut my blade. I want it all in one fell swoop. So I am going to line up my that corner right into my scissor, and then I'm lining up right with that little spot that we did that slit. Now I flip it over, and we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, into that corner and up. And to me, this is one of the cleanest ways to do that. Jolinda says, you are recording, right? Yes, the recording actually happens at the end. Jolinda, I just click never delete. Okay, so there is that. And we're also going to need a couple more pieces of paper. And so this is the piece from the Tea Boutique. Now, you might not be doing a purple, yellow, and black color combination, but you know, just having some fun, find some DSP. This piece of DSP is 2 inches wide, and I'm going to cut it down to be 4 inches long. Okay, that's going to kind of run across the back. And then I have this piece here. So this is what we cut off on the side. We're going to take that piece right here, and I'm going to make this one be 4 inches wide. Hi, Kim. It's lovely to have you here. Awesome to see you here. And, you know, I always enjoy people jumping in from across the pond. Okay, this piece here, we're going to use this on another project, but I'm going to trim 3/4 of an inch off of this. So this is 6 inches. So I'm going to take it down to, and I'm actually going to trim it on the other side here. I'm going to take it down to 5 1/4. Okay. And these will be the pieces that are layered behind this big banner. All right, so there's that banner, and you can see they're kind of all kind of, you know, they're cattywampus, and they're just kind of, you know, arrange them how you like, but that's about what I did on mine. You can kind of see there. So let me glue these in place and have these ready. Okay. So this one's going to kind of come in like that. Okay. And I'm going to put a little glue on this one. Okay. So just curious, what's been keeping everybody busy lately? In your comments, if you want to just say what you've been doing this fall. This first part of the fall. I last week went on this, it's called Vintage Road Trippin' here in the Treasure Valley, and it was fun. We went to all these vintage stores, and they're usually pretty cute little boutique style stores, and just had a really good time shopping and being with my friend and my daughter-in-law and my grandson, and went to lunch. It was good times. So, you know, kind of kicked in the fall and Christmas season. Okay, so Kim says it's 5 in the afternoon here. What time is it in your end? It is 10:20 here. 10:20 in the morning. Nicole's doing cross country. Yes, that's right. Whoa, cross country, both coaching and traveling. Awesome. I didn't know you coached it. That's cool. Kim says, been designing residential weekend retreat classes. Oh, I wish. It's not that far, is it? So Kim, just curious how far, where you are in the UK. Lori says, making Halloween treat holders to send to college kiddos. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, you might get a few ideas here. Okay, so this piece here, we're gonna zhuzh it up a little bit. I don't know if you can see. Maybe if I hold this one side by side, but this one has been splatterified. It's a new technique to splatterify. So I'm gonna use my Whisper White ink pad. Yes, I have the old one. So Kim says you're on the edge of London. Ooh, that would be cool. In the morning, that's good to know. I get confused with the timings, Kim says. I know, I can never figure out. I'm okay across the United States, Canada, Mexico, because that's just kind of my, my territory. But yeah, once I get across the pond or across the ocean there, I have no idea what time it is because I don't know how many time zones it goes through. Okay, water painter. And this is a water painter, and I'm just picking up, getting some white ink here and splattering the whole thing. And I can kind of like just do the top and the bottom because the middle is not going to show. So give it lots, make it fun and funky. Okay. And then come in and do this same thing with your Wink of Stella. Okay. Patricia, waiting for fall to start in Yuma. We've had a little bit of fall. You can see it coming in just a little here and there, but it's not in full swing. This past weekend, we drove down to Salt Lake, which if you're not from this area, Salt Lake's about 5 hours south of me. And so we were there, and they have more fall leaves than we do, for sure. Okay, so there's my Wink of Stella splatters. And we'll let this dry while we do a little bit of stamping. And so our stamping, let me just kind of slide that right over. Grab that other piece of Whisper White, Basic White, that was in your add-on kit. Or if you don't have a kit, just grab some more white. Ooh, Kim, I'm just kind of reading these responses. Thank you for making me not just chat with myself. Kim says she was born by Parliament. That's pretty cool. I've been watching a whole bunch of, I like historical fiction shows, and I've been watching a bunch of stuff with Churchill and the Queen and just all kinds of things lately. So I'm kind of like, ooh, I feel like I know the area, but I don't at all. Not at all. Yeah, we're the same way. It's hot and then it's cold and then it's hot again. It's like, make up your mind. I had to turn the heat on the other day, just take the chill off the house. Okay, so I have Fresh Freesia ink and I have my black Stampin' Write marker. I haven't pulled my markers out in a long time, but there you have it. We're going to use that so we can go direct to rubber. And grab your ghost stamp. Okay, and you're also going to want to have your chamois nearby. Okay. Does everybody's chamois look this nasty? All right. Is it, I mean, holy moly, it's pretty ugly. Okay. Ink up first in the Fresh Freesia. And then go in with your black marker and just color right over those eyes. Okay. And the mouth. And you can kind of see if your marker's not leaving, if it's leaving brush strokes, kind of keep coloring it until you can get rid of those. Okay, just a little tip there. Give a huff on that. And you're gonna stamp 3 ghosts here. Okay, so there's a 1. Then clean it. Okay, ink it. And color the eyes again. I'm just trying to get, again, those brush marker lines out of there. Okay, huff on it. Another ghost, and just put it right down there nice and close. Clean it, which I just did. It's just kind of off screen there. And then ink it up. And go ahead and add that detail to the mouth and the eyes. Do you guys bring out your brush markers very often? Since we started selling a lot more of the Stampin' Blends, that's what kind of is, you know, right at hand, and I seem to use those a lot more. But you wouldn't put a Stampin' Blend on your stamped image, on the actual stamp itself. So there are my 3 ghosts. Okay, and now I'm going to color them. It's a detail you might not notice through, you know, by watching virtually, but let me bring this back in. I don't know if you can see, but these ghosts, I'm trying to see if it'll pick up. Oh, there's a little bit of it. You can see the shimmer, the Wink of Stella on this bottom ghost here. So all of the ghosts have been painted with Wink of Stella, but I am intentionally staying away from the eyes and the cheeks. Ask me how I know. The ink will, you know, kind of get a little bit on the, it'll blur out. So I'm coloring right down the middle, right above, right around those cheeks. And then I can come down into here and just go for it out in this open area. And just paint each of these ghosts with a little bit of wink. Okay. Get all 3 of them. And then we'll fussy cut these out. Excited to see what great ideas I have. Oh, you're so, well, thanks, Kim. So this is Kim, I'm not sure how to say it. Is it Rabic or Rabic? She is popping on. So this is a different Kim now. Been chatting with Kim from the UK. A couple miles from Parliament, she said. Yes, we do have some great ideas. There's some cute cards that could revert, you know, we can realign them and make them be treat holders. I am going to show you that. And then I have one big granddaddy project for you. Big project that you can easily do, but I've designed it so that it can transition to be part of your Halloween decor, and then it can be part of your treats that you're handing out later in the month. Okay, so there's my 3 ghosts. They look super cute once they're painted with the Wink of Stella. Okay, so now we need to cut these out. Okay, she says it's pronounced like rabbit but with a K. Oh, that's a great way to, so rabbit, I like that, rabbit. Okay, good, because I see your name pop up, and so it's nice to know how to say it. Okay, so we're gonna fussy cut these out, and when I fussy cut, this is what I usually do, is I usually will fussy cut up one side, and then just kind of rough cut the rest of it out. And then I'll come back to it. So it's because it's just so much easier to control a smaller piece of paper. It's also easier, so I'm cutting out on white, above white. It's easier if you put a different color underneath you, okay? That way you've got a little bit more contrast and you can see what's going on. Now just, you know, gently come around this curve. I'm turning my paper. Okay, don't worry, you won't have to see me cut out all 3 ghosts because I have 2 more already cut out ahead of time. Okay, and so now I'm just coming up these sides. And for some reason, I like to come up one side and then I'll go back and come up all the rest on the other side. Get out of there. Same thing with this little guy. Okay, and then I'm just kind of clipping off these little sharp edges right there. Okay, so there you have it. Not too tricky. That's a pretty easy fussy cut. Jolinda, you're sweet. She's saying hi to Kim from California. So Jolinda lives in San Jose, which is where I am originally from. Only recently I'm here in Idaho. So we've been here for a little over a year. So it's kind of crazy to go, you know, spend most of your life in one place and then to just up and move. Okay, so I'm bringing my elements in here. So these kind of, you know, haphazard pieces of designer series paper are going to stretch across the back, and then our banner will go over the front. Let's see. Tandra says, we are like 20 fussy cutters. She does the same. Oh, good. I'm glad to know I'm not too out there. So when I fussy cut, I know the rule is, and rules are meant to be broken, you know, turn your paper, not your scissors. I sometimes break that rule, so bear with me if you see me do it. Okay, here's another thing I like to do a lot. When adding layers like this, especially a flag, I like to put dimensionals on the bottom part of the flag, but I'm gonna glue the top portion down. I don't know why I do that on this type of a layout. I guess because I like it to look like the flag is anchored somewhere, but there might be a little gust of wind kind of popping this up a little bit. And so this is just going to lay down center right there. And it helps if I take off the little backs. Do you guys ever do that? Oops, forgot to take off the backs. I don't do it that often, but when I do it right. Okay. All right, here comes a little bit more to do here. We've got our ghost. I can see I missed a section with my, my Wink of Stella. And here I have some more ghosts handy. Okay, so there's my 3 ghosts. And I'm also going to use the circle, and this is the circle. I'll tell you the size of this in just a second here. This is from Stylish Shapes. This is such a great set of dies. Bring your piece of paper back in and let's run this through. Now watch what I'm going to do here. Nothing like, you know, this isn't Brainiac, you know, or massive tip here, but I do like to, I could have just put this whole thing through and cut it, but a lot of times if your plates are well used like mine are, it leaves impressions and things on your paper. So to keep this, the rest of this tidy and clean, I'm going to just do a rough cut, and now I'm going to run this through my machine. Okay? Grab yourself a circle. Okay. There you have that. I think I actually already had one cut out for this, but that's okay. Didn't take that long. So that piece here, we're going to do a little bit of stamping on this and some things that you might not notice, but grab the trick or treat image. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. And we're going to stamp this in black. So I'm using black Memento ink. Okay, just straight down, straight up, right in the center. Okay, perfect. We'll let that dry, set into the papers, just kind of really let it do its thing in there. And we will grab a couple different colors of blends here, as well as the spider web image and my yellow ink pad. Okay, so here's my crushed curry. I have a few old pads still. And this has white ink on it, so I'm gonna just clean this up a little bit. And I'm just gonna add some, let me bring in the original here so you can see. I have several little spider webs stamped on my circle here. So I'm going to stamp off first. Oh, Maggie, yes, sorry. Thank you for reminding me. The size of the circle is, it's about 2 1/8 across. Well, 2 1/16, well, 2 1/8. So it's a little bit more than a 2-inch circle. And the Stylish Shapes have these little, they have the little perforation in there to make it, you know, all those perforated little dots. But a straight circle works, or you could do a circle and then a scallop behind it. So I am going to stamp off, and I'm going to add a little cobweb there. I've already, as I picked up, I rotated the stamp in my hand. Okay, stamp off. And now I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna kind of try and match up. Whoops. And drop my stamp. I didn't match up very well, but I was trying to kind of line those up just a little bit. They don't have to be exact. Look, that one's not either. And then this one, make sure it's not in the same orientation. And there you have it. So I have two on the right and one on the left. And now I'm going to, now that this ink has really settled into the fibers of the paper, I'm going to take my, this is Mango Melody. And you could use any yellow. I don't have crushed curry blend. I don't even know if they make a crushed curry blend. But I'm going to come in here and just with the bullet tip, add, okay? I'm just coming in there. And I've been doing this with this image on all of my projects. I just kind of like, it's adding just a little sneak hint of color. You can't really, it's not in your face. But just kind of coming through here. Okay, so that was the bullet tip with Mango Melody. And then we will do the same thing. This is Fresh Freesia. And is this light or dark? This is light. Either one. You know, if you have the Purple Posy, that would work too. Just kind of a nice light purple. And I like that this is a Halloween card with not a speck of pumpkin pie. Okay, so there you have it. That's ready. And you know what, you guys? I'm not going to do it today on this class, but I did bust out my my Dazzling Diamonds glitter. I still have a big, huge, like, container of it. And I did glitter up my letters. I couldn't resist. Okay, so now let's assemble this. And this will be a little bit different because in the spirit of using up what's in my stash, I had a tiny bit of this. I don't even remember what this, it's a linen thread. It's actually a cotton thread and it's kind of a mustardy color. It was from one of our collections of twines a little while ago and it was just enough for that bow there. So this card's not going to get that, but that's okay. I could have put linen thread behind it, but like I say, I'm really trying to use up items that are in my stash. In fact, in this last project that I'm going to show you, the very last one, that one I used up a bunch of ribbons that were just hanging around and it was time for them to be on something. Okay, so I'm going to lay this off to the right just a little bit. And now this ghost is going to kind of fly right up in here. So just kind of watch where you're putting your dimensionals so that you can, you know, if it's going to kind of be on both, you don't want to put your dimensional right there and then have it be lopsided. So there it is. Barbara is watching. Barbara, welcome. Making just a few paper pumpkin alternatives today. Okay, and we're almost done with this first card. Okay, two more ghosts flying up over here. Okay, kind of bring this one in here. And I don't want, I'm trying not to, I almost set it down right there, but it's in the exact same. So I want to make sure it's not quite, and this one has a little birthmark, a beauty mark on her cheek. But that's okay. And then this one, wow, this one's really smeared. I have one more ghost here. And then this one I'm going to set down right here. Again, making sure that they're not flying in the same orientation. Okay, so then the last step for this is, like I say, if you wanted to add a linen thread or something under, you could. I'm adding a few of my basic rhinestones here. Can you believe this is the last of my basic rhinestones? I think I need to restock. But like I say, in the spirit of using it up, I am trying to use things up and not have them, you know, just sit in drawers and things. Okay, take your pick tool. That's what I was looking for. And let's just grab some gems and have some fun. I think I put like 5 on. Yeah, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So let's do a big dude here. Okay, and then I'll do a big and a little there. Whoops, got a jumper. Right there. Okay, very cute, very cute. And then we'll do 2 more down here. You know, and I do them in different places. I was gonna do it here, but I don't want it to kind of look like it's in line with that one, so I'll go there. And then we'll do another one right in there. Cute, 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 cute. So this paper is from, I mentioned it's from the Celebrate Everything, and it's a host pack of paper. It's 48 sheets of paper, all about the holidays, and it's super, super versatile. And the back sides of them are just super, they're neutral, but totally packed full of color, and they're charming. And it's a pack of 48 pieces of paper for $18 as a host item. So if you ever, want to do something with your friends, put together some orders, that pack of paper is awesome. So this is really a cute, fun piece of printed paper. You could easily have come in here and done like a dauber and added some orange in these pumpkins and had some fun with it. So you can change it up however you like it. So there is our first one and done charming little card. Again, this whole thing could have been mounted the opposite direction to turn this into a pocket. Speaking of pocket, that's what we're gonna do on our next project here. So let's just kind of clean up the ship. That's what my mom would always say, clean up the ship. We gotta tidy up the ship. So we'll tidy up the ship here so things are a little bit easier to see. And so our next project is going to be, we're gonna use a half sheet of pumpkin pie. Okay, so this is 4 1/4 by 11. I have no idea what the international measurements are. I will say, last week I participated in it was called Commonwealth of Color, and they were cards that we all designed in tribute to Queen Elizabeth. And so because it was a tribute to her, I designed in the international measurements, which I don't remember what it is. It's a little bit narrower and longer, and I totally loved it. I'm like, ooh, I like this size. So anyhow, but we are back to American dimensions here. So what we're gonna do first is you could design this as a card, or you could design this as a pocket. And that's what I'm gonna do with this one. I'm going to design it as a pocket. And so it doesn't matter which side you take off here, but we're going to cut we're going to cut the whole side of this off. So I'm going to put let me see if you can see the whole thing here. My point is going into, okay, so this is the bottom right corner point, and that is in the cutting groove there, as well as the score line. So I'm cutting from top left to bottom right. Okay, so we'll keep both pieces here. We're gonna use them both for our card. So you could design this, like I say, and then, so this piece was here. We're just gonna flip it and it's gonna come in here. Okay, so you could design this as a card, right? The entire thing I'm doing, just reverse it. Or you can turn it upside down, and we're gonna make this kind of like a little pocket envelope so that we can tuck it full of some treats. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is have some fun with this piece here. And so with this piece, let me bring some scratch paper back in. I know this is scratch paper, but I try to keep it kind of tidy so it's not so messy on screen. We are gonna load this side with spider webs. This little image here is adorable. So we're gonna just stamp a whole background of white cobwebs. But if you remember, this was yellow, so we need to give it a little bit of a clean. All right. So here we go. Now, if I put this here, this kind of gives me a rough idea. In fact, I'm gonna pull this out just a skosh, just a little bit. And with my pencil, I'm just gonna do a light line like that, okay? Now, the reason I pulled it out is so that when I glue it in, you won't see it, okay? So that way I don't need to stamp all of this. This is as much as we need to do, okay? So with that white ink, okay, now notice as I pick this up, I'm rotating the stamp in my hand because I don't want them to lay out the exact same way. Carolyn, it's great to have you here. We're making some alternatives using the Spooky Treats paper pumpkin. Now notice I tried to connect that, let me bring this up, that web. You don't have to, but you know, I like a challenge. So now I'm gonna try to connect these two. It doesn't happen all the way up, but oh, I'm doing good. Let's see how far we can get. Now we'll do, it's like you gotta find two that touch. And then, you know, it's just kind of having some fun working yourself up this piece. Okay, we need a nice white. There we go. It's not totally there, but that's okay. We're having fun. Just rotate that image so that things don't look so matchy-matchy. I'm trying to find a good spanse and it's not gonna happen, but that's okay. Okay, do you guys get what I mean by rotate it so that it doesn't always look the same? Okay, get a little more right there and a few right up in here. And this should be about the last one, but I am gonna do one more right there. Okay, so there's your cobwebs, and we'll just set that aside to dry for just a minute, because that is, you know, it's craft ink, and so pigment ink, it needs time to dry, so we don't want it to smear. So let's bring this piece back in. And going to the elements in your kit here, I'm gonna use one of these right here, and I'm gonna chop it up and turn it into designer series paper. And I want a piece, so I'm gonna, you know, it doesn't fit this way. So what I'm gonna do is actually bring this down, and I'm gonna put the point right here, okay? I'm just gonna put that right on the edge of my paper here. So there's my edge there, so I'm just kind of going right up to it, okay? Now close the card and flip it over and trace it. Okay, cool. So that way we'll be able to put some paper right there, but we need to know where to cut. So now I kind of know. And I'm just gonna cut on the back side here. So I'm putting my pencil line right in that cutting line. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Okay, save these. They're totally gonna get used. Now this piece here, we have kind of a corner taken out here. That's okay, but look how much that covers there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna trim a 1/4 inch off of each side. And that will then give us kind of that look, okay? All right. Okay, so it felt good to use up and fantastic to make. Okay, so I need to go back, reading, I'll have to see, so Jolinda, or Nicole and Jolinda, someone's having a conversation and I'm missing out, but that's okay. So take that off. Now, don't necessarily throw these away because these could be cute little scraps across behind things, and I'll show you in our last project. And now I'm gonna actually move my paper down to the bottom here because this is just kind of straighter. And I'm gonna take a 1/4 inch off. That's the scoring blade. Okay. Okay, again, save those. They look cute on little projects. So now this piece comes in, and I have a piece that can set in here that I have totally, you know, used from my paper pumpkin kit. So let's glue this one on. Okay, so you definitely don't fold on any of those scores because then those folds will show. The nice thing is these folds don't show because of how busy this print is. It just kind of disappears right in there. Okay. So we'll center this. Cute, 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 cute. Okay. So Nicole says, I was talking about using stuff up, and I said I used up a stack of, oh, awesome, retired cardstock color to make cards for your Meals on Wheels. Awesome job. Yeah, that's awesome. I used up a whole bunch of cards. I just gave stacks of them to people at church. So it does feel good to use things up. Now, what's nice about that pencil mark that we made in that on this first side here, now I know where to put my glue. Okay, and this is going to set inside here, like so. Easy peasy. Now, this you can see could easily be a card going this direction, right? But I'm going to reverse mine and make it go upright, and I'm going to turn mine into a treat pocket. Okay, so we'll just glue this. And the elements we're going to use on this, we are going to use one of the circles from the kit. And we're going to use one of the spiders and one of the webs. Okay, so these, for this one here, I'm going to stamp this with the spooky treat greeting. So it says, enjoy this spooky treat. And I am going to stamp it in Orchid Oasis. Now your kit comes with an Orchid Oasis spot, but I've just grabbed my pad. Okay, and this is going to be straight down, straight up, stamping right in the center. Ta-da! Whoops. Get over here. There we go. Great color. I love that it's such an unexpected color for Halloween. Okay. So we're going to have that. We're going to put dimensionals on this for sure, for sure. So I'm just going to do a couple here. Okay. And I am going to dimensional my spider web. Okay, your kit also comes with mini dimensionals right there. And so I'm going to use a mini on the back of this spider. Okay, and I'm going to do, I'm pulling a couple here. Oh man, okay, they just sandwiched themselves together. Shoot, queen. Okay, well, sandwiched it together. I'm going to do, now I pulled up 3. I am batting 1,000. There's that, okay? And I've done one there because this other portion is going to be layering on top. So that's why I've got one there, and the rest is just going to kind of fly, be free. Okay, so keeping this really easy, this is going to be what my layout is going to look something like this, okay? Just adding some cute, fun stuff. But this actually could all turn and be here, and you know, you could make it be a card. Okay, so if you want it to be a card, turn yours upside down and go this direction. But mine's going to be a treat holder, so it's going to go this way. Okay, so I'm also going to add a fun little bow on this. So this is the Starry Sky woven metallic ribbon. But look at the Starry Sky, how perfect it picks up the Orchid Oasis. It's a little bit darker, and it's totally okay. So I'm going to put this one on first. Okay, and this one's going to just kind of come right down in here, like so. And now I'm going to glue everything shut. Going to glue it, make it into pockets here. So this is the Tear and Tape that came with the kit. You could use your green cap glue or your Tear and Tape, whichever one, but just come up. We're going to come up both sides. So there's one side. Here's the second side. Okay. And just burnish this on. I'm just going to kind of use my thumb and then grab your Take Your Pick tool. And I really like this little spatula end of your Take Your Pick tool. Okay. And there. Okay. And now I'm going to fold that over, that little end. I don't want that to show. Okay, so then you can just shut this. burnish that adhesive so that it doesn't, like, you don't want your seams to split. Okay, and now I'm going to tie around this with the ribbon, and I'm going to do a fairly generous bow here. Okay, so this is the, I have this and the Tahitian Tide in this woven ribbon, and I've used this color a lot. I haven't used the Tahitian Tide very often. So my bow, it's actually going to kind of come under here, but it's almost, this is so lightweight, I'm going to treat it like I would a linen thread and hold my thumb on here and give myself a tie. Okay, and now we can tie a bow. That knot is so small, it doesn't even make a difference. You know, sometimes you don't want a knot because it gets too thick. But with this stuff, this is almost like linen thread. It's so lightweight. Okay, so there's that. Now I can come in with my spider. And I'm gonna add her in here. This kind of looks like, I know that's not the exact marking for a black widow, but with those little diamonds on there, it kind of is. And my little right there. And then in the kit, these are awesome, you guys. Look at, they gave us 2 sheets of stars, some large and smalls. I love it. Love it, love it. So I'm going to add some stars here, not a bunch. I'm going to add a large. Okay. I'll do a large one right in there. And another large over here. And actually, I'm going to set this over just a little bit further. That's better. And then a couple smalls here. We'll do a small here. And hello. And we'll do another small, like right in here. Okay. Maybe one more small. It's more than I did on my other one, but that's okay. We'll do another one right there. We'll do it in here. Okay. So, and then you know me, I like to take the opposite, the cap end, and just really give those a firm push once I know where I definitely want them. So there is my treat holder, and let me show you, it's stuffed. This one turned just a little bit. My ribbon did, but you can see how fun that is, but how easily it could convert to a card if we just reverse things. Now, I've noticed on this card here that I've had some fun with Wink, and so I did color the spider here, and I came down the legs, and then I even did the web. And if this, I rejuiced this. I added more rubbing alcohol to this. So this is the 3rd time I filled this one, you guys. I should say it's the 2nd time I've filled it, but it's its 3rd run through. So I got it new, and then I filled it, and now I filled it again. And it's going strong here. So refill your Wink of Stellas. All right, so there you have it, a very cute little 3D project. And I think that these caramel fun size M&Ms look great. The color is perfect for this collection. All right, so there's project number 2. Moving right along, we're gonna do one more card. And this is a bendy pop-up, just like we did in Technique Time. So this is, I learned this from watching a video with Rachel Tessman, but you're gonna slide the belly band off, and then you have your bendy pop-up, and so you have some ghosts poking out here. So let's do this one together. For this, you're going to need a half sheet of fresh freesia, and to this, we're gonna add some score lines. So there's our original score line, right down the middle. So we're gonna score it at 2 1/8 on each side. So here's 2 1/8 on one side. So we're creating a gate fold. Now I'm gonna just rotate and do 2 1/8 again on this other side. There you have it. Okay. Now we have some cutting of paper that we need to do. So we already, This was in our add-on kit. So this piece now is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, it's 4 by 5 1/4, but I'm going to cut it right down the middle at 2 inches. And I'm going to keep the orientation of this so that when we glue it into the paper, the stars align. Okay, and then this piece here, this was in our, this was in your add-on kit, and it's just a piece of, this is the Tea Boutique, but it's fitting our color palette here of the Freesia, Curry, and Black. So we are using it up, okay? So this piece is 3.5 inches. I'm sorry, it's 3 inches. We're gonna make it 1.5 wide, okay? And we're gonna glue it together end to end so that we can make our belly band. And I'm gonna show you my trick for gluing papers together to keep them straight. So you've noticed I've turned my trimmer, and there's an edge right here, right? On that ruler. So put your pieces in here. And then if you put this piece in here, and we add a little bit of glue, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of glue here. So this is along the edge. And now I'm gonna put this one right along the edge. And notice I've lined up my stripes, but my paper is also straight on the edge. You know, sometimes when you make a strip, it can get a little bit cattywampus, but that's how you can make it straight, is using this edge right here. Okay, good tip of the day. See, now look, so see now look, it's glued into my thing. But see, now I have a nice straight piece, okay? So we'll let that glue set up before we actually start to bend it around everything, okay? All right, now I am, let's see here. We're going to glue these 2 pieces. I'm like, where am I? I had all of my pieces over here. Okay, so these are gonna glue to the inside, and we're gonna glue these right to that score line. So where that bump is, you're not gonna butt them up, but just kind of, there's a little itty bit of a gap in there, okay? So let's glue these on. Okay. So right up to that line. So just center this, because this is 5 1/4. So we're gonna give ourselves an 1/8 on each end there. Okay, same thing with this side. Okay. All right. Right there like that. Okay. So, and I forgot to bring myself some black cardstock. That's a bummer. But I'm going to just use white on this one. So you're going to want some black cardstock. I think it will look better with black, but since I have some extra white here, I'll do mine in white. We need to make a mechanism here, 2 mechanisms. So you're going to cut yourself a piece of 1.5, and this should be black. It'll look better in black. 1.5 by 5 1/8. Okay, 1.5 by 5 1/8 in black. And then you're gonna score each end a 1/2 inch, okay? So there's a 1/2 inch on that side and a 1/2 inch on this side, okay? That's part of our mechanism. Now the second part, we're going to cut another 1.5 inch piece, okay? This you can save for something else. And it's going to be 3 inches long. 1.5 by 3 inches, okay? And we're gonna score this one at a 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch. And I'll go over this all again in just a second here. So a 1/2 inch and 1 inch, that's from one end, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. A 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch. And again, I'm gonna pull both of these pieces up, and we're gonna go over all of these measurements again. Okay, so we just cut 2 pieces. Both are 1.5 inches wide. This first one is 1.5 by 5 1/8, and it is scored at a 1/2 inch on each end, okay? So 1.5 by 5 1/8, scored 1/2 inch each end. This one here, 1.5 by 3 inches. Okay, so 1.5 by 3, scored at 1/2, 1, 2, 2.5. Or like we did it, 1/2 from each end and 1 inch from each end, 1/2 from each end and 1 inch from each end. Okay, so since we have this one in our hand, we're gonna do this first fold is gonna come towards us and then away from us. Then this one is gonna come towards us and away from us, okay? And so in my class last week, I mentioned that it kind of looks like a picnic table in a way, okay? So that's the fold we have, okay? This is the bendy and this is the pop out. This one here, both of these are just gonna fold to the back, okay? Speaking of folds, we need to fold these inward. Okay, and we'll give these a good crease with our bone folder, if we can find it here. Okay, there you have it. Yes, there's a little peek through, but that's okay. You can kind of bring these around. As you fold them, you can kind of get those kind of cleaned up. Okay, so we'll crease there, we'll crease there. And now what we're going to do is add this. So we're going to put glue on the ends of these, okay? Let's see, where's my glue? Here's my glue. Okay, we'll glue there. We'll glue right there. Okay, so just I'm folding these back and now I'm eyeballing center. Okay, and that's going to be kind of right there. Yep, it doesn't go all the way to the ends. It's in just a little bit from those folds. Because remember, this piece was 5 1/8 and we scored 1/2 inch off each side. And so that makes this 4 1/8. And this is 4 1/4, right? So a little bit of a gap there. And since I have a little scrap and since this is white, I'm thinking that I'm going to do something here. We're going to design on the fly. This is a scrap. We're not going to use this. So this is 2 inches wide. So I'm going to cut it down to 1 inch. Okay. Since I'm using white, if you notice my original, I used black. But since I'm using white this time, I'm going to glue these right there like that. Okay. And I'm going to flag the ends. We're just, like I say, designing on the fly here. So I'm going to add this in. Probably should have done this before I chopped it. No, I couldn't have done it before I chopped it in half. Oh, I don't know if I can get these in here. Yeah, no. It's not going to work. It needs to be longer. So, I mean, I could do, I'm just going to eyeball these, you guys. Okay. I should have done a slip up the center, a snip up the center. Okay, so see, it was too short for me to hold it in the punch. That was my problem. Okay, so I'll add a little glue there. Okay. A little fun. Same thing here. We'll just do a little freehand flagging. Which is so not like me. I like things a little bit more like very punched and exact. Okay, let me go back. So, Nicole, you said this would be great to hand out to trick-or-treaters. I'm assuming you're talking about this project where we had the added. Yeah, it would. Okay, so there's that. Now this next mechanism. So this is the pop-out portion. And so I'm going to add glue to this whole back piece here. And I say it's the back because this is going to glue right over top, okay? So what's nice is you have this seam right down the middle. Now I can just line up this seam and know that I'm right and I'm in center there, okay? And we'll let all of that set up. And then you kind of want to train it just a little bit. Okay, and I can see that I have a little more glue on this side. But anyhow, so as you open the card, things kind of pop out this way. So that's the mechanism for it, okay? So you can see if you're going to decorate the inside of the card, you need to do that first before you put the mechanism on. Okay, so let's talk about the decor for this, okay? This cute added feature here is I'm going to use one of the spider webs here. Okay, so we'll grab that. And I've used a couple of the ghosts, but you could use whatever decor you have. So don't fold this piece because I find it's much easier to cut these apart without folds in the score line. So it's cleaner. So I'm cutting the spider web right apart. I want this whole little section. It's kind of like a window. And then this piece here, I'm going to trim this one down as well. Okay. Okay. So it looks like this one needs just a little bit more of a cut, but I'm not going to worry about it. Whoops. Oops, sorry. I just totally rammed the trimmer into the camera. Okay, so before I glue this one on, I'm going to make this piece a little bit more interesting. We're going to grab fresh freesia. We're going to grab crushed curry. And I'm going to use both of my, oh, where are my blending brushes? Oh, shoot, Queen. I don't have my blending brushes with me. Okay, so I left them in the other room, but I'm using my blending brushes to make a background here. That's how I made this background. Let me bring the card back down into view here. So since I don't have those, we're going to do a different background. We're going to use our markers. Okay, so not markers, our Stampin' Blends. So I am going to start with the fresh freesia, and I'm just going to color. Okay, just coloring a couple of the corners here. And now I'm going to use my mango and come in here, maybe pop in there just a little bit, kind of fill some of this in. And then I'm going to go back in with the freesia and kind of blend some of that. And I know it's kind of rough looking, totally okay, it's Halloween. That's the great thing about making Halloween creations. You can totally mess up, go cattywampus, and it's still going to look good. Now maybe I'll go back in and blend a little bit more with this color here. But you can see that by the time I put this on and we add the ghosts, it looks totally cool, okay? So yes, I would like to have blended with blending brushes, but I wasn't gonna go run down to the other end of the house. Okay, this is gonna glue straight on. This is a design on the fly card anyway, right? Since I didn't have my black paper either. And I think I'm always like, okay, I got it all. Oh, nope, I gotta go get glue. And I go back, oh, nope, I gotta go get some scratch paper. You try hard, but it doesn't always work out. Okay, there it is. Now you could even go in and blend this a little bit more with a little wink. It's always like an added plus in my world of stamping. You know, what would you do without linen thread and Wink of Stella? I'd be so sad. But I do like how Wink of Stella can actually blend inks and things. Okay, so there's that. We have that ready. And so now this is going to, we'll bring this piece in and we will bring in our original here. So I'm going to add glue onto these two tabs right here, okay? A little bit of glue. And I like to use the green cap glue so that I can kind of slide things around and it doesn't set up instantly, but it sets up and eventually, but it allows me some time to kind of wiggle this around and get it centered to where I want it, okay? So I'm adding that, and you can see as I let go, it pops up, right? And that's exactly what we're going for. So let that, okay? And then we need a couple ghosts. And so these are ghosts from the kit. And of course, because I'm a little bit, you know, addicted, I am going to Wink of Stella their faces. It just, you know, makes them cute, right? Okay. So there's that. And now I'm going to add these with dimensionals. And I'm using full dimensionals. Okay, so I have one kind of, it's like these are ghosts flying out of a haunted window. At least that's what's happening in my imagination. Okay, she's a little weird. Okay, so I've got one kind of right there. And now also pieces from the kit include these little purple and yellow rectangles here. So I'm going to stamp Happy Halloween on the purple with black memento. And while I have that black memento out, we'll be doing a little bit more. We're going to stamp some spiders. Okay, so here's this Happy Halloween image. I really like this image in that it's not like, it looks like this is straight across, but it's ever so slightly crooked here and there. And it just lends to kind of the little distortion, I think, adds to the Halloween feel. Okay, so this piece, I'm going to glue it to the yellow, and then we'll use dimensionals to pop that on the front of this panel here. Okay, so I'm just centering that. This is, you know, exactly as the way Paper Pumpkin designed this little element. So again, taking cues from that. And I'll add a couple dimensionals here. Squish those on. And now I'll add this to the bottom. Kind of maybe come under that little ghost right there. Okay, there you have it. And now a little bit of stamping on the inside here. I'm going to take the craft white and do some spider webs. You can see I have a couple down in the corners. Let's see, where is that spider web? Here it is. So this is craft white. And we'll do another one up here. Okay, so there's the inside. And then this little spider. Such a cool image. And you know what's hard to see is because it is so small, but they included the little diamond that's on the die cut, the printed die cut. That same diamond is on here. So I have a spider crawling onto the page here. And then I've rotated it in my hands, and I have one here. And I'll do another one like right here. Okay, you could actually turn these and make them all creepy, crawly, gross. Okay, so there is the inside. But since I have a whole bunch of these stars that came in the kit, I'm going to add a few right up in here just because I can. Because I have the purple here. So maybe this I'm going to do, we'll do a star right there, and then I'm going to do a star here, and I'll do one more small right there. Okay, just a few of those on the inside. So there is the inside of our card. Okay, now the front has all kinds of craziness happening. And I should have probably done this before we did the inside of the card, but I was so excited to get onto the bendy pop out portion. Okay, so we'll just flip this over and we'll work like so. So here's this, and we're first gonna stamp stars all over. And this can take us a little while. I'm stamping them with Fresh Freesia because that's my card base color. And the star image, let's see, here it is. I've got bats on the other side. So here's the star image. All of these images come from the Paper Pumpkin kit. Okay, so we're just going to, again, rotate that stamp so you're not ever stamping in the same direction. And just kind of change how you're landing things down. Maybe I'll do this one upside down, but just come down both sides. Okay, like so. Now let's do this side. I'm gonna actually rotate this upside down just because it's easier. Okay, filling this. Here and there, here and there. Adding some background. Then we're going to totally splatterify, wasn't that the word we used earlier? This with white and Wink. Okay, so grab your white and your Wink. And actually, before we splatter, on my original here, these spider webs are embossed. And if I splatter with Wink of Stella and white right now, when I go to emboss these, it's going to pick up all that powder in places that I don't want it. So let's emboss these spider webs first, then we will splatter, okay? And I did do something a little different here, and that is that I stamped where I wanted my spiders first. So I have to make sure I've got this going the right way. And then I embossed the spider webs over it, okay? So Nicole's off to get her farm order, but you'll pick up later, I know. So I have my they're kind of tucked in there. They're a little bit more hidden. So let's do a couple spider webs. We're gonna do one on the top and two on, or so I should say one on the top left and two on the top left and one on the bottom right. Okay, so here's one spider web. Ooh, I didn't stamp that very solidly. And I've rotated that image, and now I'm stamping a second. And where is my white powder? Oh, here it is. I should have embossing buddy, but I didn't. Oh well, we'll survive without it. So I have a handy little tool in here. I know some people have these really fancy tools. I mean, I have an index card. Okay, there's that. Flick off the extra and bring in your heat tool. Here comes the loudness. I forgot to stamp my spiders, so they were hidden in there. Oh well. That's okay. It doesn't have to be exactly the same, right? Now let's add some spiders. Okay, so I had 3 spiders in my original. So we're looking at this side up here. Okay, so we'll hide a spider right in here. Kind of he's crawling off the page. We'll do another one over here. And another one right in here. Ooh, spooky. Okay, that looks good. All right. Now let's do this side. So there's our spiders there. Now we need some spiders over here. Okay. Kind of get ourselves oriented. So we will do our spider web down here on the bottom. And we'll emboss this one with white powder. Okay, set that aside. We don't need that anymore. And heat tool. Okay, now I could have done the embossing on the inside as well, but I kind of like reserving the embossing for the front of the card. Just because, you know, it doesn't have to be totally matchy-matchy all over the place, but it's just kind of fun. Okay, so more spiders on this side. We'll do one kind of nesting here in the web, and then a couple crawling up the page. All right, there's that. Now, my favorite part, and that is we'll splatter. So we will splatter with Wink of Stella and with basic white, Whisper White. So let me give this a squeeze because it's been a while since I've done that. So there's my white and aqua painter or a water painter. Get that wet. Not too juicy, but you want it juicy enough. And just splatter that. Give it some texture. Make it kind of a one of a kind. And let's do the same thing to this other side. Okay. So there's white. That's beautiful. Beautiful. It's a line from a movie. That's beautiful. What is it? Velvet? Okay. Now a little wink of Stella. And we will let this dry while we make our belly band, which we started with this striped paper that this may need a little bit of, whoops, oh, shoot. Oh, look at all that wasted wink. Okay. There's that. I'm gonna let that dry. Now for our belly band, and here is our what we're kind of going off of. Now my papers are a little bit different. And since I don't have any more of that, I think what I'm going to use is I will use, let's see, maybe I will, oh, I don't want to introduce a different color. Okay, so it's just going to have to be smaller. I've got pumpkins there. Maybe I'll do that. So I'm going to use this piece and I'm going to try and put it in the cutter here. And so I'm just doing a quick little flag on each end. So this is all about using up everything that you have left in your stash. So I'm using up all my little bits and pieces of paper. I might have had an extra piece of paper on my table when I made this one. But here's this little banner, and I know it's not big enough. It's not the same width, but who says it always has to be the same? So in order to stretch that and make it work, I am gonna cut it in half. So there's that piece. And then this is the same size circle that we used on our previous card where we did the trick or treat with the ghosts. This is the same size, also cut from Stylish Shapes. This is fresh freesia, so it's about 2 1/8. So I have that layer in here. And I'm going to use one of these from the kit, and we'll stamp that with Trick or Treat. Ooh, I have a whole bunch of embossing powder over here. So I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Okay, all of our pieces. Trick or Treat, stamp it in black. And we're gonna do the same coloring technique that we did where I colored it with the bullet end of my blends. Okay, so let's stamp this, not on all of our other pieces. So straight down, straight up, right in the center. Ta-da! Lovely. Okay, we'll let that dry for just a second. And I am using up, so I had this much times 2. This is the silver mesh metallic ribbon or whatever it's called. So I had this piece and this piece. I have used it all up. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of, you know, I've bent it in kind of back, forth, back, and then I squished it in just a little bit. So it's kind of like a bow, but it's not tied in a bow because I didn't have enough. So it's kind of a zigzag. It's kind of not. I'm squeezing it. So in order to hold this shape, I think what I'm going to do first, I'm going to have this handy, but I'm going to just lay down a little bit of Seal Plus. Okay. To hold it down where I want it. And then, like I say, I'm going to use this as like a piece of tape. I'm just going to take a piece of this Terran tape. Okay. So this will kind of hold it in place there. And you could use a stapler. I've done that a lot. But to hold kind of these, but to keep it flat at the same time, I'm just going to use some of my Terran tape here. Okay. Look at that. You don't even have to peel the other side. So, you know, this is done different every time. I just kind of do whatever's nearby. But before I put this on, I am going to do that coloring like we did before. And that is to color the letters in. Although this time, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go every other letter. So here's mango. Okay, so I'll do the T, I, and K. And the R and the A. Okay, it's adding just a hint of dimension. And now for, this is freesia in the every other letter. It's a subtle touch, but I like it. Makes it stand out, pop, and you're like, why is that popping just a little bit? And it's because of that tiny bit of color. Okay, now for some dimensionals here. And I'm gonna kind of put these dimensionals on, and you're like, why is she putting them there? Because I need to know, because if I just put it right there, it's gonna kind of stick, but it's gonna kind of lift up on me. So I'm just adding them in here where I know they're gonna get covered, but I'm gonna get some, that I have adhesion to the purple layer. Sometimes if you just put them on here and it's sticking to this, it kind of pops off. So that's, you know, sometimes I do it a little bit backwards, but that's the reason why. Okay, there you have it. Cute little bow. Okay, now I don't know if my card base is dry. It still has a little bit of, it's still a little wet. So I'm actually gonna go and I'm gonna use my original, okay, to make my belly band. And so here is the seam that I originally started with. I'm actually gonna put that in the back. You don't see it too much, but I have the seam and I'm gonna put that seam right on the edge, help it disappear. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this one around and I'm gonna trim this one off because I can tell it's way too long. Okay, and then bring this one around to the side. And what I'm trying to do, look at that, meeting up those yellow lines, is making it so that my decor for my belly band will hide that seam, okay? So we'll do just a little bit of glue here, a little bit right there. Actually, that was a lot of glue. Okay. Okay. So I do think that this mesh ribbon, I've used it on another project that if you come to my blog, you'll see tomorrow. It's another paper pumpkin alternative, but I've used it on that. And it's just a fun, it just fits Halloween so perfectly. Okay, so these two little, we're using up all of our little bits and pieces here. Oh, look, I didn't stamp that the right way. My pumpkin's gonna be upside down. Oh no, it's gonna be right. Oh, good. I'm holding it upside down going, oh man, that's really a bummer. Okay, gonna glue these on. You guys, sometimes I'm losing it, I tell you. Okay, a little bit there. It's called stretching every little piece that we had. A little bit there. And then we will glue this one to this piece. And there you have it. And I like this to sit up just a little bit higher rather than right in the middle. Okay. And so there's my original belly band. Here's my original card. And here's this one, still waiting for some of these splatters to dry, but I like them to dry by naturally rather than forcing them dry with my with a heat tool. But there is the bendy pop out. Okay, so there's the inside. So if we take this one off, I'll show you. Same thing. So you have that fun little addition there. Get some nice dimension, and you can see I've added stars. So I have 5 here and 3 up here. You have plenty in your kit, so use them up. Don't hoard them. Okay, so, and that's my belly band on this one. But again, I'm waiting for some of these splatters to dry, these bigger ones. So that is our bendy pop out. Thanks to Rachel Tessman. I found that on her blog. Okay. And the last thing that I want to share with you guys is a super project. Okay. So here comes the super project. And we're going to slightly adjust the little treat holders that they've given us. So let's make one of these boxes for sure here. Let's do an orange one since we've kind of neglected pumpkin pie today, and it is your most basic Halloween color. We'll do pumpkin pie, and we will use one of these, okay? And let's see here. No, you know what? Let's do a purple one. A purple one because, and I'll actually just show both because this one has some fun stamping on it. But I want to show how to make these boxes if you haven't seen. Okay, so they come like this, and this is the belly band, this is the box. Okay, so this is the box bottom, and then the belly band wraps around it. And so you look at this and you go, well, how do I fold it? So if there's only one score in it, so these tabs right here, fold it in. Okay, so we know all of these tabs fold in. Now, the rest of these tabs going all the way around have multiple on them. So the furthest ones out all fold up. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but that's the way they go. You're going to fold them up. Even this big, huge one, fold it up. Okay? Now, this one's folded the right way. All the other ones are going to fold inward, okay, away from you. Okay? What happens is this piece right here, this big flap, that becomes a liner. So this box bottom is kind of self-lined. Okay, so all of these others are folding in. Okay, now that you have them all folded, the easiest thing to do is bring up the sides. Okay, so those side tabs. And I kind of use my fingers and I grab that shorter tab, and this all locks in place. You don't need any glue. And then you're going to sandwich those tabs in there. And then this big one that I said self-lines it goes right down and fits in like that. Talk about slick. Super, super awesome. So there is your box bottom. You could stamp that if you want. I'm not going to. So there's your box bottom. And then these are your box. These kind of come around. Be careful when you're folding these. Okay. Has a tendency to want to fold on the spider webbing. Okay. Okay. And now this tab here, you can use the tear and tape they gave you, or hello, life's short. So I'm using the green cap glue. It's just a little bit faster. And I can kind of skate it around and get it positioned the way I want. And now this is intended to slide right over top. How cute is that? Okay. So there is the way we're going to make the box. Okay. But we're going to add to this. And so for this project, I did 6 boxes on mine, but I'm just going to show you one of the boxes and then I'll show you all 6 the way I finished them. So I am using my Banner Builder punch, and I'm going to flag end each of these. I'm going to punch each end with a flag. And I'm not going in all the way because I want it just a little bit longer. So I'm just right to there so that I pop that in and get an easy flag end. So much easier than cutting with scissors. I mean, the scissors are fine, but man, do I like this punch. So there's that. Now I'm going to use, you can use a pencil or you could use I have my chalk marker handy, and that way I can see it on the black. So a pencil and a ruler, or a chalk marker and a ruler. And from each end, I'm going to measure up 1.5 inches. And I'm just placing a little dot here, okay? So that way I know where I'm going to punch my holes. And I did this to 6 pieces. So these are 1 inch wide by 6. Okay, so 1 inch by 6. And I used 6. I made 6 of these. And so I'm just kind of right over that little dot that I made. I'm punching a hole. That way they're all very, very similar. Now I'm going to curve this, and we're going to glue it to the top of this. And so in order to get it to curve better for us, just lightly take your bone folder over it this and train it to curve so that you're not, you know, like bending it and creasing it. If you train it, it'll be much easier to glue it. Okay, so now I'm going to glue it about, I don't know, an inch down. So this point is an inch down. So just a little bit of glue. And remember, you have a notch in there. And so you don't want that notch. You don't want glue coming out of that notch. So that you can see how I'm about an inch down, but it's a little higher because of that cutout of the flag, right? Okay, so let that set. I'm just giving it a good squeeze. And now same thing on this side. So what I've done is I've added, it's actually going to be a ribbon carrier. You'll see in just a second, but it also can be a handle. Because my idea of this, you'll see in just a second here, is that this is decor filled with goodies that then you just slide it apart and then you can hand them out. And what I'm going to do is actually suspend them. I do have a Halloween tree, an outdoor Halloween tree. It's black with purple lights, and these would look good hanging in the tree, and people, I can just say, oh, take a treat off the tree. Okay, so there's that. I know it looks a little goofy, but then you're going to take your sleeve and go over. It's much easier to go over it this direction to put it on, okay? And then you can decorate these. And I've decorated these mostly the way that they have shown, okay? But I'm going to decorate this one right here real fast, just because I think it's so cute, and we haven't used the bats yet. And so this is the bats image. Let me just peel these stars off for now. We'll put the bats on here. Okay, so here are the bats, and I'm going to stamp the bats in black. And don't worry, I'm going to tie back to this in just a second, but you're going to need 6 treat holders like this, okay? And so I'm doing 2 of each style. I'm doing 2 purples, and I'm doing 2 oranges, and I'm doing 2 of the spider webs. So I'm just making 2 of everything. Okay, so I'm just having some fun stamping some bats in here. Love this bat image. I think it's really, really cute. And of course, you know, we're going to do a little splatter action. Let's see what's left in here. Just a little bit. There's something about adding the splatters. It's like having textured cardstock, or it just adds that little bit of dimension that it lifts it to another level. Okay, so that's been splattered with ink and with white. You could even splatter it with fresh freesia if you wanted to do that with your marker end of your, okay, and that will give it a subtle bit of texture. So there's that. And then to that, I'm going to add what Stampin' Up! Has designed, and they have this cute little piece of bat printed paper. There's that. And let me see. That actually has one of these on it. Okay, so I actually have already stamped the trick or treat, and I've stamped all of the greetings on my project here with the Orchid Oasis. So I'm gonna layer these 2 pieces and then put it on with dimensionals. So just a little bit of glue here. And we'll glue that to the back. I'm gonna let that set up a little bit. Add some dimensionals, and we'll pop this on this cover here. I just want to point out, the reason I'm doing a purple one is you definitely want to stamp your purple ones before you fold it up. Okay, so I was just reading Tandra's, you splatter with your chalk pen and dries faster than white ink. I've never ever splattered with my chalk pen. Ooh, oh, you've unleashed a beast, Tandra. Okay, all right, now this one's just going to set right in the center there. And of course, we're gonna add the stars as they've kind of designed for us. Cute design on this kit, really cute. And so just add the stars wherever you like them, you know, just put them here and there and everywhere. Okay, do a couple of those. Now I can fold this up and slide it over one of my boxes. Okay. Okay, here's this. And I think what I'll do is just replace this one over this spider web one. And I've mixed up the colors. I have some purple on black, on white. Just mix and match and have some fun. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so we'll put this one on and you can see how cute these are. Look at that. Super cute. Super, super cute. Okay, so I have done this. I have 6 in total. So I have 2 spider webs, 2 purples, and 2 of the plaid. Little goodie boxes with the handles on top. And then what I've done is I've cut myself probably about a 6-foot piece of this tinsel trim. And this tinsel trim, it's kind of fussy to get it through these holes. So, I mean, that one went through pretty easy. But I will say I did add a little washi tape to this end to make it kind of more like a needle so that it'll go through these nice and easy and you're not fighting it. But it seems to be coming through okay. So anyhow, I strung all of these along to make a cute little garland. And so let me show you the garland that I've done. And I actually have them stuffed. So let me get it out, it's under here. Super cute garland here. Okay, so here you have it. And then here's where the wow comes in. I also have it strung on that garland, on that tinsel trim. The garland is on the tinsel trim. And I've also got some little, I don't know if you can see that. There's a copper wire going through here. So I have a battery pack. I picked this up from the Dollar Tree last year. And it's just, you know, a little Halloween. It's what, 10 lights or 16 lights? It's about 3 feet of light. But talk about super cute on this project here. So this can hang, whoops, I've got it tangled with my other one. This can hang, but it can also be filled with, and I'm trying to find the one that's filled. Here it is. It can be filled and ready to go. But I have to show you this, you guys. The Oreo cookies. Oh, I have to pull it off this way. Hello. The Oreo cookies that come in the 2-pack are perfect sized for these little boxes. So you can fill them with whatever you'd like, but there you have it, folks. So here's what I've done. In the spirit of using things up, I had all of these just pieces of black ribbons, and I used them all that was in my box. So I just chopped them up and added them in between. And so this can hang as a fun little garland in the next few weeks. And then, like I say, I can easily just pull it off the garland and I can hang them individually, like so, on, like, you know, you can tie that up or you can pull that out entirely and hang that on my little Halloween tree in my front yard filled with stuff, and people can pull them off. So I say double dip your stamping efforts and use it as decor and then turn it into treats. So there you have it. Let me kind of just go through these real fast. They are very similar to the way that Stampin' Up! Designed them. I've just added that top. So there's the first one, and that one's on a white base. Here's the one that I just did a minute ago, you know, with the bats. Love that little bat image, super cute. And then with the spider webs, here's another purple one. This time I did it with spider webs and the spider. And here's another one similar to the beginning. But I did, you'll notice they're slightly different just to change them up. Switch up the orientation of the ghosts and the little decor on them. And here's that last one. Again, all of the greetings are stamped in the Orchid Oasis. I like that to kind of tie. It's for continuity, for thread's sake throughout the project there. So I've made a mess. Hopefully I can get a good picture of this and you can see that. It is so cute with the lights in person here, and that the wire is actually copper, so it's not showing up in the video here. But anyhow, so there you have it. We've had fun with the spooky treats. All right. We've made some cards. We've made some treat packets, we've made some home decor, and we've even made, and I don't have the belly band back on, a fun fold card as well. So join me again next month for upstyling your paper pumpkin. It'll be those Christmas cards. If you want to join me in the Backstage Pass, shoot me a comment and I will let you know how you can do that. Because we have some great classes that are on that private page in that group for the rest of the month. Glad to have you all here, and I will catch you later. Have fun stamping, folks.